Okay, before we go on and put the floors in the car, there's a couple things I forgot to do. First of all, we have to cut, if you're making an operating car, we got to cut a couple of the O-scale 1x8s, and we need to cut them about, you can see how long that is, kind of about somewhere from the middle or the edge of this board to this board. And what these are going to do is we're going to glue these inside the car so they hang down just a little bit inside of there. And what that's going to do is, so we'll glue it back on the inside, just like that. What that does is that provides a shield to protect any coal from getting stuck in the door. When the door opens up, it causes a little gap between the top of the door and the bottom of the body, and little pieces of the coal will get forced in there, and then the door won't close again. If the door opened all the way, way up, that coal would fall out. But because the door only opens a little bit, that coal gets stuck in there, and so then the door won't close. So we have to put a little shield on there. If you're not making an operating car, then I wouldn't put it in there because it's not on the prototype car. So again, these are 1x8s, and they're cut just a little bit longer than that, than those two vertical boards. The next thing I forgot to do was, let's see if I can show you. See these little notches I cut right here? We have to cut those. What they're going to do is they're going to clear there's like a couple little pieces of styrene that will come down here, and that's to clear for the door rod, and that little notch there is to allow that piece of styrene to sit flush with this face here. So I cut it about 20 thousandths deep. It doesn't have to be real accurate or perfect. I just use an X-Acto knife. It's a little easier if it's not on the car and this piece is flat on the table, but it's not too bad to do. You just cut a slight depression, or make a slight cut there and a cut there, and then just carve it out, and it just pops right out. So you have to do that for each corner on each side, and then we'll cut these two boards and glue them in there, and then we'll get back to working on the inside of the car. Okay, got the shields glued in here now, both on both sides. And the next thing we're going to do is we're going to work on the hopper car end floors here. And you can see I've got one done right here. And what I'm using is the O-scale 1x8s, and there's 6 boards on each side. And you have to measure if you have a dial caliper, this works great for this. Go ahead and you measure the inside space in here, and then transfer that measurement to your chopper, or just cut the pieces. These don't really have to look all that good because they get covered up with styrene on the inside. And you can see I have a little bit of a gap right here, but on the outside you can't really see that gap, and these boards are just to look like there's a wooden floor from the outside that's covered with metal on the inside. So we'll cut 4 of the 10 thousandths black styrene squares, and then when we get the wood glued in there, then I go ahead and glue these floors in here, and then they'll slide down and sit in there like so. So we'll go ahead and get both of these ends done, and then we'll do the hard part, which is the middle sheet here. Okay, I'm going to show you how I put these boards in here. Basically just going to put glue on the top of each one of these diagonal slope sheet braces, and then we'll put these in. So I just start out by, let's see if I can get that on there. Putting a little, now if you need to use a toothpick and some glue, it's okay. I just put a little bit of dots on each one of these. smear down in here. Okay, and then the first board we'll do is we'll start out at the very bottom down here and just get it in there. Push it all the way tight so that you don't have a gap in the corners here. Get it nice and squared up. And then just go ahead and start stacking the boards on. You don't have to leave a gap on these. These aren't really super critical on here. They're, as long as you get them in there so that it looks good from the outside. I didn't grain any of these boards. They're really hard to see from the outside. Make sure they're sticking down on there. Now I got more gap on this side, so I'm going to push this top one up. Or actually, I'll leave it down. I think I might just make a little filler strip in there, just to fill that up. I'll just take another 1x8 and cut a little teeny strip and stick in there. It really wouldn't be that big a deal, but that's a little bit bigger than the other side. So get those in there, glued down, and then we'll come back with the styrene.